We're going to talk about all of this, plus your chats right here on the Big Ten Team Rivalry Show, where we have expert trash talk and unrivaled analysis. But this sounds drastic, but I suppose you have to take drastic action when your head coach can't count to 11. I was almost ready to call it off. This is ridiculous.
Let's get into it. Let's talk football. That's going to make us both feel a lot better. And they've finally figured out a winning formula in the last three. Well, I mean, they've been winning the whole time. They just haven't been winning the championships that we won. I mean, Michigan was never a bad team except for maybe 2017 and 2020. Okay, this is really dumb. Why? Maybe it's not dumb. That at the end of this, the NCAA is going to have more egg on their face than Michigan is.
If you're between 19 and 23 years old and people are throwing millions of dollars at you, that's got to mess with your head.
That might be a pipe dream. That might be a pipe dream. I'm just thinking because
it might be, but it would be a lot of fun.
That would be sweet. How long has this segment gone on? Like 40 minutes?
Welcome to the Big Ten Team Rivalry Show. This is how things go around here, and you know that because you've seen the show before. All 691 subscribers, by the way, thank you for that.
How many people are going to tune in for the Michigan-Ohio State game now, knowing that the loser of this game can still make the playoffs? I just heard the screams of all of my brain cells die.
We are now up to 907 subs.
Well, actually, hold up, maybe. Because we're going to get to this. We'll get to this when we talk more about the spring game.
We have this tradition here that we ask all of our guests, of which you are the first. So it's not a long-standing tradition. All right, well, I do want to be respectful of time. I told Ted we do
We're having so much fun. We're having so much fun.
It's interesting because he said that the goal of the NCAA at this point is to just not get sued anymore.
Yeah, even after these last 3 years, we still represent hard. I mean, you got to rep your team, right? You know?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But the problem was that they weren't pulling in like Ohio State level recruiting classes, and this is a huge concern. But then Harbaugh goes and wins a national championship with a bunch of 3 stars, a handful of 4 stars, and then a couple of 5 stars.
And he will announce the starting QB by the end of this week. The NCAA will have 90 days to respond.
Because, yeah, I mean, Michigan really couldn't throw the ball at all because Chop Robinson's pass rush was just insane. I mean, that guy was awesome. He was everywhere, and he was giving Carson Barnhart all sorts of issues, and that's actually why Sharon Moore pivoted in-game to running 30 bajillion some odd times in a row.
Between Tom Osborne and Solich, they had like 30 years of just destroying everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
And now it's legal? I'm sorry. Was Jim Harbaugh like the biggest college football revolutionary ever?
I'll tell you this. No one willingly lives in Ohio.
Yeah.
Case in point, Garrison here. My dear friend.
No comment.
Jim Harbaugh has just introduced a brand new era of college football. These guys are nerds! And they bullied you! What were you thinking?
Kalen DeBoer, in order to keep up with Nick Saban, all DeBoer has to do is win 6 national championships in 17 years to match Nick Saban.
Thank you.
Beautiful, man.
It was very nice.
I really appreciate it.
I could tell you wrote with, from the heart.
Oh, absolutely.
It really meant something to you, and I can appreciate that.
I really appreciate you appreciating how much I appreciate this because it meant a lot to me. I
appreciate that.
They have a shutout every season. That's nothing. Stop. Move on.
I'm trying to be positive here. I'm trying to give the Hawkeyes some hope.
Lecture. Judges don't give lectures. Judges
Will you just say
give
something for crying out loud? That is a bad night for Georgia, but good news for Michigan. The only team Michigan has lost to is now number 1 in the country.
All of Georgia's players are in prison.
Do you think that Notre Dame Purdue is going to be kind of like Arkansas Oklahoma State, where like nobody's trying to win in the second half?
That was awesome. Man, I wish I had half the amount of knowledge that all those guys have.
Mac, take us out.
This is the Big Ten Team Rivalry Show. Good night, everybody, and thanks for joining with us. Joining us. not with us. We're already here.
A good job by J.J. McCarthy. The handoff. Alec Menace is going to throw a pick. They give it to Corum. Up back. Corum. Touchdown, Wolverine. Ruben Wilson does it again. Hill finds some daylight. He got some speed at the blocker. Outside. Turns the corner. Blake Corum down the sideline. Looking over the middle. Caught. Touchdown, Wolverine. McCarthy extends the play, now using legs. McCarthy a first down.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are in some uncharted territory here tonight, as I am doing the show by myself. Tonight, it's finally here. Not by myself. I mean, Mac's not here by myself. It's finally here, though. The undefeated Indiana Hoosiers take on the number 2 Ohio State Buckeyes. We will break down that game and give you some picks on the rest of the games. Plus, and we might actually talk about this, as Dan Lanning could actually be off to the NFL after this season is over. Who knows? We'll make a guess. Plus, Week 13 picks on the Pigskin Showdown, all right here on the Big Ten Team Rivalry Show. Expert trash talk, unrivaled analysis. I am your host, Cliff. As I said, Mac is not with me. He is recovering from an illness that he'll probably talk about in the chat, and I think he actually already mentioned it anyway. But at any rate, if you want, in the chat, drop in your get well wishes for him. He will be back on our next show for sure. He is in the chat now, watching and listening, and he would love to hear from you guys. We almost actually canceled the show for this week, but it is Indiana at Ohio State week, and we just couldn't pass that up. So let's get down to it. Let's bring on our guests. First, we are going to start with he once chastised sportsreference.com for their lack of resources. From Buckeyes Battle Cry, we have Rob Morse. Rob, how you doing?
I'm doing good. You know, just worried about my Buckeyes this weekend. Their starting center sustained a season-ending injury. He tore his Achilles, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I'm doing great.
All right. Anything big coming up? Any kind of, what do you got on your socials going on? You were just talking about TikTok earlier.
Yeah, you know, you can find me at TikTok at Buckeye Rob 13. You know, just I post daily on there, all types of different content, just college football in general. Try to get as much Buckeye content out there as well. So,
all right, excellent. Peter will be on in about an hour. We'll get him.
Oh
on.
yeah, him and I share a YouTube channel called Buckeyes Battle Cry.
Yeah, there we go.
I forgot about that.
Our next guest, he's been on more YouTube channels this season than anyone else in the history of YouTube college football, including that kid from the Indiana Voice of College Football channel. We have from Nebraska at the Voice of College Football, Justin Adams. Justin, how are you, man?
I'm doing great, man. Ready to get this show on the road. I thought I was going to miss it Monday, but glad we were pushed to Wednesday so I can, talk a little trash to Mac about this Indiana Ohio State game. But he's not here to take the punishment today.
No, but he's in the chat. He's waiting for it. He's looking for something.
The show's better already, though. I will say that it's a great start. We're off to a great start. You could find me over X at _H-Town Husker. You can find me on YouTube at the Big Ten Show or at Nebraska Football at the Voice of College Football. So, just get me over there for all your Big Ten Husker content on X for whatever you want to follow me on there for. It's random. So.
It's random. It's a good deal.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for being here. Next, he's coming a little bit late, but he has taken on the second most popular channel in the Voice of College Football network, from the Ohio State Football at the Voice of College Football and the Scarlet and Blue Show. We have Garrison. Garrison, how you doing?
I don't like how you said that. I don't like how you said that. That's messed up, man. We're gonna take over soon enough. We're gonna take it over soon. I'm doing good, man. It's been a very busy week. The rest of it's gonna be pretty busy also. I'm tired from work. I think I have bags under my eyes, man. Look at me.
Oh no.
But this house is pissing me off. But I'm good, man. You can find myself and my co-host Bryce for Scarlet and Blue Show at Scarlet Blue Show on all social media, and then Scarlet and Blue Show on YouTube. You can also find myself and Ryan, my co-host, on Ohio State Buckeyes Prime Time on the Voice of College Football every Monday and
Monday.
Thursday. Thursday's a live call-in show, and yeah, you can find me at Buckeye_Gaddy. That is Daddy with a G on X.
Excellent. Glad to have you here. All right, our next guest. And let's see, let me get this over here. Okay, he is so laid back that if Oregon wins the national championship, he has promised to set aside an entire evening to vape. From the Oregon football at the Voice of College Football, we have Ben Schellen. Ben, the king has descended from his throne. How you doing?
You're saving the best for last. This is our conference, and you're just allowed to play in it now.
Oh, good grief.
And I have a seahorse mug.
God, I'm suddenly rooting against Oregon very hard now.
How dare you? How dare you?
Ben, I do not have your socials on here. I don't know why I didn't put those up. What do you got? Where can everybody find you, man?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Exploring Ben and Sam. You can find me on the Oregon channel of the Voice of College Football. And like I said, after the show, about an hour and a half later, we'll have Vernon Adams Jr. on for a conversation, talk about his experience at Oregon and his CFL career so far, as he's tearing it up out there. So looking forward to this and talking shit to all of you because you're below us now.
I apologize. Who is Vernon Adams Jr.?
Yeah, quarterback 2015 for Oregon from Eastern Washington.
Ben, you can't run my name through the dirt. I was made from it, okay?
You know what? Yeah, I have things to talk to you about, Nebraska. I have things.
I'm telling you, it's gonna miss because you can't hurt me more than I've already hurt myself. All right, so
that's
more than Nebraska's already hurt me.
That's fair.
My wife's maiden name is Adams too, so
is it?
Maybe you guys are related. Who knows?
Yeah, that would be some long, weird, some kind of lineage of family that would be related there.
Yeah, I don't know how that. I don't think that's
no family in that area, but it works. It works. Same last name. We'll rock with it.
We'll rock with it. All right, gentlemen. As we said, it is week 13. We've got some interesting stuff going on. But first, before we get into our picks, we want to go through some questions. Like I said, Peter will be on at about 9 o'clock. But first, our very first question has to do with predicting the CFP. And my main question is, should Ohio State be ranked above Oregon? And here's a couple of the tweaks on that. Ohio State struggled against Northwestern for, 15 minutes of the game? But Oregon struggled against Wisconsin right down to the last 5 minutes of the game. At least that's how I saw it. How did you guys see it?
I saw it as it's extremely hard to play at a Camp Randall at night, having that crowd in it. It's a Luke Fickell coach team. They looked a lot better. I honestly thought that Oregon was gonna, choke and lose that game. But at the end of the day, talent got it done. But as far as Ohio State possibly being ranked against Oregon, I don't think they deserve that. I think in order for them to be ranked number one, they need to get revenge, win out in the Big Ten, and take it from them. And at the end of the day, Ohio State went to Autzen Stadium and choked at the end of the game and lost against Oregon. So Oregon has every right to call themselves the number one team in all of college football and be ranked at that number one spot. That's just how I see it.
That's how you're seeing it, yeah.
Yep.
What do you guys think? You guys? I know, Justin.
I was responding to a comment about Mac in the private chat. I was in the middle of typing up. But,
if Max spams the chat, are we allowed to block him or what are we doing?
Blue Wolverine, who is actually out there tonight. Blue Wolverine has he's the admin on the chat.
Oh yeah, he will never do it.
Up to him.
Yeah, he won't do it. But yeah. So talking about, to be honest, there's no question here. Oregon should be ranked ahead of Ohio State, and I think Ohio State fans would not want to be ranked ahead of Oregon just because they lost that game and they want to earn their way back up there. I really don't care about they almost lost to this team or almost lost to that team. They won the game at the end of the day. And that's really what matters. I mean, they took care of business. Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So there's a reason for that. So it's just one of those things where I think Oregon rightfully is going to be, and I thought Oregon was going to beat them in the regular season game. And I thought Ohio State was going to beat them when they played again. I still think that'll be the case. So there's going to be an opportunity there for Ohio State to get their revenge on them. So I'm good with it right now.
I second that they're going to get revenge.
All right.
Carry
so
on.
I believe Oregon should be ranked where they are right now. Do I believe they're a better football team than us? No, I don't. I think they won at Oregon in a very close, good game. I still think both teams could have played better. I do think Oregon could have played better in that game, but I do believe Ohio State is better than them. I do attribute that Wisconsin game to them playing a long schedule without a bye. Yes, everyone has done it before, but I mean, it's still 18 to 22-year-old kids we're talking about here. It's bound to happen when you have an off game. At the same time, though, that doesn't mean you're above reproach. If Tyler Van Dyke played that game last Saturday, Wisconsin would have beat them. The only reason Wisconsin didn't win that game is because they didn't have a quarterback.
Yep.
Oregon had 6 points going into the bare end of the fourth quarter. That's I don't think there's any way you would find Ohio State in that situation this year, no matter who they played. So, I mean, even so, like he said, I mean, you find out that going to the Big Ten schedule isn't as easy as everyone says it is when you go to some of these stadiums at night. Last week, I called Maryland covering. I said, I think there's going to be one of those games where Oregon finds out that there's a team like Maryland who you probably should smack the hell out of, but for some odd reason, they won't go down. They just keep fighting and they keep fighting. The next thing you know, you're giving them close to 20 points or over 20 points. So I just didn't think it would carry over to this game. So I don't know. Their offense looks kind of off right now. And maybe it's because they lost Tez, and thank goodness I think they're getting them back. But they deserve where they are right now.
Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, I have no gripes with any of the commentary here. I mean, that's it. They're the only team that's gone 8 weeks now with road games without a bye. Now they get it at the end of the week. Washington has the same thing before the rivalry games at the end of the season. So if Ohio State takes care of their business, we'll meet again. Oregon has the head-to-head already. Then we'll take the place, because I don't think Ohio State wants to be number one, because that would piss off Oregon. I think, and give them fuel more going into the championship game, kind of thing. But yeah, I think all the commentary is fair here. That was a struggle fest. Wisconsin threw everything at us that they could. It broke another Big Ten team where they fired their OC. Oregon's just killing the Big Ten right now. I mean, just destroying fan bases and coaching staffs right now. So love it.
Really.
Can't complain.
Their recruiting is scary good too. They got a lot of the NIL money, plus like what Dan Lanning is building, doing over there.
Okay, you look at the numbers. Ohio State's double what Oregon is NIL.
But you guys got Phil Knight, dude.
Well, I know, but you guys spent twice as much as we did for a team.
I don't know, but I think you need to check.
Yeah, the official Oregon number this last year was like $10.5 million. Ohio State was over 20.
Get your money up. That sounds like a personal problem.
It is good though. Tez Johnson will be back. He's already back, and
who cares?
So we can have to relax.
You got the money, spend it.
Yeah, you know how they say they got that old Southern money.
Are we down in
money?
Why are we down in teams for spending money in the NIL era? I don't understand.
We're not. I just like.
No, it only makes me mad when teams who shouldn't be getting these players based off of a winning culture get them. That's when it makes me mad.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason why.
True.
Teams who have no business getting, like Florida, they have no business being top 5 in recruiting other than it's the NIL era. Or, even when like Texas and A&M, when Jimbo Fisher was there, or Miami before they got Cam Ward, now they're having this, pretty good season. Those were the teams that made me mad.
You realize you're in between two people who shouldn't be spending $10.5 million for a quarterback in Nebraska.
What happened?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, I was
the $10 million quarterback.
Oh my God!
I was reading the comments.
you are.
Did I catch a stray?
Actually, I'm about to go down a rabbit hole, Cliff. I stopped myself.
Did I catch a stray? Or did I miss it? What
yeah, you did.
Good.
Well,
it was like Mike Tyson there where you were sleeping.
No, I was reading the comments. All right, I missed like the beginning of the show comments, but it's just Mac. I just realized that it's all Mac.
No, it's all Mac. A lot of it's Mac, yeah. But yeah, I mean, Oregon came in with a vengeance. Where you guys are 11-0 right now. Oregon has been in the top 5 the entire season, right?
No, we won and then we dropped out 2 weeks in a row. We dropped to 7 and then 9th.
7 and 9th. Okay. Yeah. Ohio State's been number 2 for 3 or 4 weeks now. Texas is back up to number 3. I guess it's a question of how tight is this race? We've got, Oregon they say is a lock right now. A lock for the Big Ten championship, which means they're a lock for the playoffs. Obviously, they're number 1. We're going to get into Ohio State a little bit later. I don't know. Maybe there's not as much of a discussion as I thought there would be. I was thinking that these teams are so tight that there's got to be a lot of back and forth on who's got the better this and the better that, which you guys did cover a little bit. But I'm kind of surprised you guys are okay with the positioning.
I'm with Garrison on. I think Ohio State's got the better talent, but Oregon took care of business. So yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Specifically that 1 point. Specifically.
Yeah, that's just about that. That's just about those. The rest of the college football playoff. Are we talking about that? Because
are we talking about the Big Ten race? Because I looked up the tiebreakers. Since Oregon already has a spot, I looked up the 3-way tiebreaker. If Ohio State beats Indiana. So in any case of a tiebreaker, they're going based off head to head. And so for the 3-way, let's say Ohio State beats Indiana, Ohio State would get that tiebreaker because Indiana lost to Ohio State and Penn State lost to Ohio State. So that's why they get it. And remember, Indiana and Penn State and Oregon, they all don't play each other. So even in a 4-team tiebreaker, Ohio State and Oregon would get it. With the 3-way tiebreaker, Ohio State gets it. All they got to do is beat Indiana and Michigan.
Good to know.
Right. One of those games will be easier than the other one.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's the game, the biggest rivalry in all of college football.
Yeah.
So. Indiana, Ohio State. Who knew?
It's just when Michigan is in a down year, that game is usually a blowout. From even though it's a rivalry game, Michigan does not do well when they are down like that. They just get battered in the first quarter, and then it's pretty much over.
I can't wait.
But now that Seth McLaughlin's out with Achilles, and he tore his Achilles. I mean, we don't know the state of Ohio State's offensive line. It was already thin as it is. So Michigan, I mean, they got 3 first-rounders, so they could give them a lot of trouble, and Indiana's defensive line could give them a lot of trouble. So, there's some things that are uncertain right now.
I promise you right now, even with Ohio State's offensive line, we will drop 20 plus on Michigan. They won't sniff 20. I can promise you that.
You mean Michigan won't get 20, or you'll get over?
No, you won't sniff 20. You won't get near it.
All right.
Well, and Indiana's thing too. Ohio State has some work to do. Indiana's got a bye week to prep, and Cignetti kills. There's only one game he hasn't covered this year in the spread wise. So
we're waiting to talk about that, guys. Cliff said so.
Right. Yeah, we got all that.
I'm sorry. Shout out Cignetti on his contract extension. Shout out. So Michigan, good luck getting him.
Yeah, I mean, Cignetti was actually going to be part of this second question here, but now actually I'm not even sure Dan Lanning is part of this discussion. But question number 2 has to do with these NFL rumors, and the NFL rumors have now started because obviously Curt Cignetti and Dan Lanning are doing very well. I'm trying to remember. There was one more. I can't remember his name though. Which coach it was?
Billy Napier.
Billy Napier.
Sunbelt Billy.
I'm kidding.
But at any rate, so the NFL rumors surrounding Dan Lanning. I mean, the reason Dan Lanning has NFL rumors is because obviously Oregon is number 1 right now. He has turned that team around, and they are destroying the Big Ten more so than we thought they would. But he said he isn't going anywhere. But if Oregon goes to the Big Ten championship, if Oregon wins the national championship, Do we think Dan Lanning does the same thing as Jim Harbaugh and heads to the NFL to try to win a Super Bowl?
I think any coach could say, "Oh, I'm not leaving," but then the perfect opportunity pops up. But you also look at what Dan Lanning is building in Oregon. Recruiting, ever since he's been there, they've been like top 5. They've been top 5 recruiting pretty much every year, and they completely taken the Big Ten by storm. Well, the Big Ten by storm for some people, but I'm not surprised. They're talented all across the board. Dan Lanning's he's a really good coach. I think the question about winning the big games went out the window when they beat Ohio State. So I think he's going to be at Oregon for a while. And plus, like, he's got unlimited resources, unlimited NIL. What coach wouldn't want to be in that position? So I think he's there for, like, I give it another 4 to 5 years until he even thinks about going anywhere.
Hasn't he already brought this up though? I think I think that
I think he did.
Lanning's already mentioned that he's not going anywhere. I mean, I'm pretty sure
he said that. I saw that, and what he said was that he has things to accomplish at Oregon that he hasn't accomplished yet. Ostensibly, that is a national championship, which he is on his way to.
Something he said earlier on the season about it too, I thought, but yeah, no, I don't. I mean, honestly, like with college football the way it is nowadays, it's not like the NFL is going to pay you a credibly, excess amount of money greater than maybe Oregon can pay and stuff like that. So really, you can continue to do stuff at Oregon and be one of the best coaches that they've ever had and continue to build your legacy, or you can go to the NFL and potentially risk it there. And then as the NFL, like it's hard to be like. To be a coach like that, to be a coach that lives in kind of that lore, kind of like a Tom Osborne would at Nebraska, for instance, right? Like I don't know. I feel like for me, Dan Lanning seems like the type that wants to go after like that type of legacy. But that's just what I pick up for him. So like you could probably tell me if I'm correct in that, but that's just the kind of vibe that I get from him, and I feel like he just wants to stay and build.
I mean, I completely understand about going to the NFL and destroying your legacy. I mean, look at Urban Meyer. He may have won 3 national championships while he was in college, but he was ranked number 1 as the worst NFL coach ever. So,
yeah, save it.
Trying to avoid that.
Yeah.
Go for it, Garrison. I'm not gonna.
No, I don't have much to say. I agree with Justin. He seems like a type of guy that stays in college.
Yeah.
When I listen to him talk, when I see his mannerisms, that awesome thing, video they did of his family. He looks like he seems like a college guy. He's a college coach.
Yeah, he is.
So I don't know, and I feel like a lot of guys that come from the Nick Saban tree, which Kirby comes from, and Dan Lanning is under that from Kirby Smart. Those are college.
Eddie does too, right?
Yeah, those are college guys. I don't. But yeah, I don't see him going anywhere.
Yeah.
What has happened to this panel this week? You guys are all talking common sense, and like I agree with you 100%.
That's because Mac's not here. That's
I was like, what is that?
That's why we're all talking common sense now.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. That's what I think. Lanning loves to recruit. He's a college coach type of guy. He's, like you said, he's been under Nick Saban, Kirby Smart. Nick Saban didn't have a good NFL career either. Because guess what? Nick Saban would have been successful. Had a crap GM. Yeah, had a crap GM and all that. Well, Dan Lanning, when you go to the NFL, you're not in control necessarily. Chip Kelly could have stayed at Oregon and been successful for several more years. Went to the NFL, had a good 1 to 2 seasons, fell apart. Look, but now he's a damn OC again. He doesn't like to recruit. Dan Lanning loves to recruit. Yeah. And he's a family guy. His wife made him promise, we're not leaving here until the kids are grown. And he promised. He seems just a man of his word. Oregon will pay him whatever. Mm-hmm. He's not even getting paid as much as some other coaches now. So I'm not worried about it. You hear coaches talk to NFL teams and kind of flirt with it. Dan Lanning's never shown any interest. He has no NFL ties. He has nothing like that.
Well,
So-
he hasn't coached very long. Let's not act like he's been.
Well, I know, but he's
Pretty
never
much
been.
20
He's
years.
never been like on a staff or
Yeah,
something on an NFL team. He has no connections. So
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Just like Cignetti. Cignetti kills. By the way, again, watch out, Ohio State. Sorry. Every time I think Cignetti, I just think Cignetti kills.
Is Oregon Dan Lanning's first head coaching job?
Yeah.
Is it really? Jeez.
It could be. It could be. Maybe it could be his only one. At this point, he could stay there as long as he wants.
Yeah, he could retire there at this point. What drew me to this was the quote I saw was they compared him to Dan Campbell of the Lions. They said he's got a lot of Dan Campbell qualities, and I thought
Just the energy. They both have that intensity to them.
Yeah.
well, and if you followed the Lions at all, you know that that's a statement that nobody has made in 50 years. The last thing you want is to be compared to a Lions head coach.
Oh.
Until Dan Campbell.
Did you see the Dan Campbell picture of him in high school that the couple players put as their profile picture now?
No.
Fantastic. You got to go check that out when you get a chance. They posted a football and a basketball photo of him and like in the basketball photo, he's like taller than the coaches and just has his arms on like this on their shoulders. I'm like,
he's a big
why is he little bro in the coaches?
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah.
But this year we're in the emerging superpower of college football. Why would I leave? That was Cignetti. I'm curious if Cignetti's attitude would have changed had they not come up with the contract they just came up with. Indiana hit him with that contract at just the right time. And what is he now? $8 million a year? Probably whatever he wants. Yeah.
I will say something. It's funny how, we go back to 2020 and Mel Tucker was given this fat contract before the Ohio State game, and then they got destroyed. Curt Cignetti's getting this fat contract to be determined on the outcome against Ohio State.
Hold on, Mel Tucker. Someone's on the phone. Hold on. Hold on.
Don't take that call. Don't.
No, that was a terrible decision by Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
State. That was awful.
Yeah, what a mistake. Obviously, that didn't play out very well.
Jesus.
I understand why they did it though. He beat you guys twice.
He did, yeah, that is true. But they didn't do much else.
Yeah. I mean, he beat something else.
I'm just saying to remind me.
It's a phone call ever.
Most expensive. And no, never mind. I'm not getting into it. I wish I could remember the name of the other guy. But yeah, anyway, you've got Cignetti and you've got Lanning both being courted by the NFL. Really, that was my only discussion for the night. We can move on to some picks. I think that's the important thing. I was hoping to try to hold off as long as I could for Peter to get here. Unless Peter's just here. I just heard, he is here. Nice.
Oh, you're just avoiding talking about Mel Tucker.
We know what
I
we're
know.
doing.
Well, I've got a couple of jokes about Mel Tucker too, but I can't say either of them. So wait a minute. I've got to think here. Okay.
We should talk about whose uniforms are better, Army or Navy's.
Professional television here.
That Navy uniform looks pretty good.
Navy's unis this year are tight, dude.
Yeah. On this show, we don't rock with the backpackers. We don't rock with the Army. All right.
No, we don't.
I want to ask Garrison some. Garrison, what is your take on the state of Ohio State's offensive line and the implications it could have against Indiana and other teams going forward?
Just steamrolled my uniform conversation. Here goes that.
All right. Hold on.
I'll hold on for it. I'll hold on to it.
You got to, all right. Give me one second here.
30 seconds.
This is a professional show now. I got to try to do this stuff. All right.
Wah, wah.
This man is so tough. He wears Ohio State gear to Michigan home games in October. From Buckeyes Battle Cry, we have Peter Ackhauer. Peter, how you doing?
Let's go, baby. Now, I am a Californian. I went to the Red Wings game, and the Red Wings lost. I'm wearing a Sharks hat now.
I don't know hockey.
And I don't have your...
Houston doesn't have a hockey team. I would love for us to get one, though.
You can't play hockey in the South. I don't know how Anaheim has a hockey team. I don't know
how... We used to have a hockey team in Houston.
They shouldn't.
Yeah, we should.
Anaheim shouldn't have one. LA shouldn't
They
have
got the
one.
most
Hockey
votes.
is above the
They took a
Mason-Dixon.
poll.
Above the Mason-Dixon.
My bad. I totally derailed the show with hockey. This is a hockey channel now.
They took a poll, and Houston, without a doubt, got by far the majority of the votes. They had Arizona.
They should just refurbish the Astrodome.
What about it? Yeah, they're turning that into
That's dope, though.
Kind of venue hall.
They should only play hockey where people actually know what ice is.
Like the great state of Michigan.
Ice that you can walk on. Exactly.
Hey, the Red Wings are still sick, man.
Hey,
Nothing
man.
good
Hey,
ever
Hockey
happens.
Town, USA, baby.
Let's go.
We want it. We want it in the states where stuff happens, not in those like little.
The Red
like,
Wings are no
flyover
longer Hockey
states.
Town, man. It's no longer
Northerners-
a destination team.
Northerners.
Hey, nobody else is hockey town though.
Wait a second, Justin, didn't you guys just got a new governor, didn't you?
No.
Or a new mayor or something like that?
Cruz won by a landslide. Cruz won by a landslide.
Cruz won. Yeah, it's still Cruz.
I could have swore you guys just got a new.
Hell no.
Oh no! That guy got
Someone
embarrassed.
said the city of Houston was.
All right, we're gonna talk Ohio State, Indiana, or what? This is a hockey channel now.
It should be. I may have to
No,
start.
I turned to
just
civil.
because I'm telling you, north of the Mason-Dixon is the only places that should be playing hockey.
The only
Anybody
place
below
that
that,
doesn't. North of Mesa Dixon's the only
Cliff
place that doesn't
knows.
matter.
Canadians, Northerners, and Russians are the only people who should be playing hockey.
Well,
That's all
too
I'm
bad the South's going to take over.
What about Scandinavia?
Whoa, Justin, relax.
Oh, all right, calm down. We're not talking
Houston get, if Houston gets the hockey team, I'll go.
I didn't even catch that at first. I was like, wait a minute.
All right, here we go. We're gonna get into some picks.
Oh, Justin.
Oregon loses by 50. That's my pick.
I've got
This is a stress-free week for me. I don't have to worry about shit.
No, they're gonna lose by 50 in the bye week.
That's awesome.
Man,
Rob,
Justin and I, we're in a tight race, man.
We're not Florida State or Cal,
Rob,
by
ask
the
me
way.
up.
Wait, did my average go up or down?
Ooh.
I think this went up.
I think it went up slightly. Right now we got
three.
Who did
Rob.
Who
is
did
in
I
the
lose
lead
to last weekend?
by 0.3%. And then Justin, then Garrison, Peter.
Hey, man.
Mac is hanging in there. Well, actually, Ben and Mac have the same. They're both 75%. So
Garrison and I are like the hair on my chinny chin chin.
I'm gonna catch you.
I do actually have the individual scores on another spreadsheet. If I had done this better, I would be able to put those up too. But right now, this is what we've got. We've got the summaries. This is who's in the lead.
Nebraska's
How
killing
about Ben with single digit picks? I love it.
it. Being a Nebraska fan's killing me. Picking them all the time.
And of course,
Picking them every week and then losing.
I'm not going to shout this, but you can all read there what Mac is saying. Again, he's picked the
Doesn't
most
matter.
games.
That doesn't matter.
Well, Mac isn't on the show, so he didn't get to pick this week, just like he told me I couldn't pick last week.
Mac, for you to have it agree, that's a lot of grammatical errors there in that sentence, buddy.
That's like him having the most games called is about the equivalent of a Texas Tech quarterback back in the day putting up like millions of yards and not getting drafted.
I missed Mac.
Wow.
It's the same thing. It's efficiency. Like it's just volume versus efficiency.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I didn't
Exactly
pick
that.
last week because I would have picked Nebraska to beat USC. But Nebraska, once again, you always let me
Well,
down.
it wasn't Nebraska's fault.
I've lost a lot of money on that team this year.
Did you watch the game and all those calls? Did you see that pass interference in the end zone? Did you see us drop 3 interceptions?
Non-call.
Yeah, the worst non-call of the season on the last play of the game so far. That's crazy.
Hey,
I was
man.
wild. They're like, oh, we're just not going to give you a chance to even tie it up.
Well, I'm sorry, Nebraska. One, you guys need to teach your DBs that if the ball is being thrown to an opposing team's wide receiver,
Yeah, we know.
You don't
Hey,
have to allow them to catch it.
Calm down. I can't hear you over all these national championships that you don't have. Okay.
Hey, remember, Oregon is the best college football team that's never won a national championship.
And
What do
they
they
have the most
do?
jerseys.
They do the SCO Ducks because they have 0 national championships.
God damn it! I'm getting the crown back on now.
Oregon is the
You guys
participation
are upsetting me right now.
all those
So
brand
dumb.
new jerseys and helmets and no national championships, man. That was
Hey,
always
so
a
at
joke.
least we look fancy doing it.
All flash.
Hey, if you're gonna lose, look good doing it.
There you go.
Hey, girls go
All right,
crazy for a sharp dressed man. That's what ZZ Top said. So, hey, respect to Oregon Duck players.
Yeah, but I don't think they were in lime green. To be honest,
What about pink? Hot pink.
I don't think they were in that
What
either.
are you talking about?
All right, guys, here we go. We've got 4 games tonight. Northwestern at Michigan, Wisconsin at Nebraska, Penn State at Minnesota, and Indiana at Ohio State. Everybody in the chat, as we get to these games, throw your score in the chat, and we will put it up on the screen. The reason we're going over Northwestern at Michigan and Wisconsin at Nebraska is because these teams are all fighting for a bowl game. Somebody's going to get one. They have to at this point. And then our last game, of course, will be the Indiana at Ohio State game because that is the big one for the weekend. That's the one that's decisions are going to be made on. As usual, you get 30 seconds to make your pick, make your case, and then we will have a discussion. And we will start with, let's see here. We're going to start with Northwestern at U of M. Northwestern is 4-6. U of M is 5-5. The spread actually changed. It's 10.5 now, not 11.5. And the spread is still 36.5. So let's go to. Oh, Mac's not here.
This is why we need. This is why we need Mac here. Come on. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Mac, drop your score
in the chat, and I'll put it. Oh, he says 31-17.
You guys scored 31 points.
31.
Wow.
Hey, Mac doesn't get to pick.
That's true. Yeah, because he didn't let you pick. So
that was his own rule out of his own mouth.
Rule, but there we go. He did it, and he did it in record time though.
Okay, that counts. All right. If it's under 2 seconds, it counts. That don't say anything, Garrison. Don't say anything, Garrison.
All right, Justin. I'm going to you. Are you
ready?
Don't
say anything.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Somebody got music playing? Who's got music playing? Or Garrison, you got music playing?
It's not me.
Oh shoot, I do. My bad. Let me. I'm trying to mute it.
Copyright.
Oh goodness, it's frozen too. You're gonna get copyrighted.
Royalty free.
I'm gonna close the door.
Yo,
to my. This is not good.
Let it go.
You're gonna get copyrighted.
Let it go.
I thought he was outside. I don't know why. What the hell?
Dancing in the ice there.
He's in
they're chopping ice, man.
He's hiding in the bushes right now. It looks like.
Justin, are you ready?
Yeah.
And go.
Yeah. So I see Michigan and Northwestern as like two very similar teams, but Michigan just got better talent overall. I just don't see how Mac has them scoring 31 points. So I'm just going to say 20. What did I have it? 20-13. Michigan.
20-13. All right. 12 seconds to spare. Nice job.
Yeah.
Peter.
13-9. 3 field goals for Michigan. Northwestern wins.
Wow.
I like it.
Michigan does like scoring field goals. That's not a lie right there.
Hey, Zavada is a weapon, dog. Don't underestimate that. He's a homeboy.
55 yards. He's automatic.
I want him on the roster next year in Columbus.
Hey, pony up.
I would like a kicker that can
10.5 million.
If we can get a kicker that can kick from 30, I'd be happy.
Yeah, Michigan always ends up with some like real good kickers. Field goal, punt, yes.
It's like Iowa with punters.
Rob, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Go.
2 average teams playing each other. It's at the big house. I'm gonna go with Michigan. 21-14.
21-14. 18 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, what?
I need to change my pick. 5 field goals for Michigan. They win 15-13.
Is that allowed? Is that allowed? All bets are final.
I thought it was final once he made the pick.
I thought it was
all bets
too.
are final.
Well, we're still on the game. 15-13. You want that?
15-13. I changed my pick because it's at the big house. I forgot. My bad. Zavada is good at the big house.
So 15-13 Michigan.
Michigan wins it. I switched my pick.
Wow.
I swear to God, if he goes 0 for 5, bro, I'm coming on the show and I'm just tearing into you.
All right, Ben,
dude is a weapon. I'm gonna tweet at him.
Do it. Ben, you ready?
Yeah.
Go.
All right. Well, after the struggle fest of Oregon showing they can play Big Ten ball at Wisconsin, this is, as you said, 2 very middling teams. It is at Michigan. I think we're going to take a 20-9 Michigan win. That's a 1 touchdown and a safety for Northwestern.
Yes, I love safeties.
Yeah. That seems about appropriate.
Nice.
I gotta catch Justin, man.
What?
Yep.
Oh, in what?
In the picks.
In the
percentage.
Yeah.
Percentage.
I was like, catch me if you can, motherfucker.
Catch me outside. I got to catch Justin's small shirts.
Catch me outside. How's this small? An extra large.
Medium.
Oh, okay. Justin's a big dude.
Oh, Ben stepped out for a minute. Oh, man.
It's not
All
even
right.
tight. It's loose.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. I'm just
Well,
checking.
Ben was just telling the truth about 2 average teams playing.
A few more push-ups there, Justin. Come on.
Garrison, how many field goals?
Garrison, you ready?
Yeah. So, just like an hour ago, I told Bryce that I'm hammering that under on 36.5. So let's go Michigan 17, Northwestern 13.
That's a great pick. Except you gave him touchdowns. So what are you doing?
Yeah, how dare you?
Take that. Change it to 16.
They'll get lucky.
Okay, like I said, both of these teams. Oh no, I'm sorry. Only Michigan is fighting for a bowl game on this one. I think it's the Wisconsin-Nebraska one where they're both fighting for a bowl game.
Should have done 18, Garrison. 6 field goals.
Cliff, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Well, it's a 2-part question. My first question is, how does it feel that you guys are right towards the end of November and you're still fighting for bowl game? My second question is, because I heard some Wolverine fans talking about this, and just hearing the conversation between them saying, we need to find an identity, and we're in week what now? 10? How does it feel to hear that?
After the last 3 years, it doesn't feel great. That's for sure. But going back to Rich Rod, at least we're not 3-7.
Dang.
Which is what Rich Rod was, I believe.
I hate how you answer this question. This is like a trigger Mac question, but I had to ask you.
Oh yeah, you trigger him quite a lot. No, it's I don't know. For me, I guess I'm kind of like I'm with a lot of guys who are like, we won the national championship last year, so I'm still sort of in the afterglow of that. But yeah, I completely agree. What you've been saying about Michigan, I believe, is true. That there's not an identity there. That they misled what they had as far as the coaching staff and the players. I think all of that's true. I don't think it's hopeless though, because at the very least, Sharon Moore has worked under championship level coaches. So he's got the information, he's got the mechanics. He just has to put that team together, that squad together, and that coaching staff together that will get the team back on track. What I have appreciated though is that the team hasn't given up. So that's why I compare him to the Rich Rod and the Hoke years, because in the Rich Rod and the Hoke years, you could see there was a play in every game where you could see where they gave up, and that play usually happened early in the third quarter. Somebody would go, it would either be a pick or a fumble or just a 3 and out, and the team just stopped playing, and it was just a free for all after that. That happened all through Rich Rod's years. That happened a lot in Hoke's time there. Hoke couldn't get that turnaround. In fact, Hoke was on a negative trajectory. At least Rich Rod was in a positive trajectory. Hoke was going down. And then when Harbaugh came in, that changed. They weren't, they were still a middle team, but at least they were trying. They were working together and they were fighting as a team. I still see them fighting as a team. So that's the positive for me. And as long as they keep doing that, I think there's a positive there. But yeah, I for sure. I don't like the fact that they're 5-5 now. They should have been better. I mean, like I said before, even Phil Steele thought they were going to be better than they are now, and they're not. So somebody lied about something, or somebody was misrepresenting something, and that's frustrating.
True more.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, Sharon Moore is a fantastic OC. Maybe, next year we'll know for sure if he can actually translate to being a head coach. I mean, you
should get Scott Frost as your OC.
Tom Herman got fired.
Might be a good OC.
Because even last year when Sharon Moore went, 3-0 in the last 3 games, he was working off of Harbaugh's schedule. So I would have hoped, because I've seen other teams do this, where the next guy steps up and he's just as good as the previous coach. Michigan doesn't have that. Will it change next year? I don't know. If it doesn't, then yeah, I think Rich Rod. I think Sharon is done.
If Rich Rod and Sharon Moore in the same sentence in your head, then that means you don't have much confidence.
Yeah, right now there's not a lot of confidence to be had.
Well, also,
I mean, like you guys have pointed out, you guys have pointed out on Twitter, they're fighting to get Bryce Underwood to Michigan. And last year, if Bryce Underwood was being recruited last year, it would have been a lock, no question about it. This year, there's a question, and that's frustrating.
Well,
so that's indicative of what's going on.
Didn't last year too, and I don't want to bring up any downsides to last year's accomplishments by Michigan, but even when Sharon Moore coached those games, Jim Harbaugh got to be there during the week for practices.
Yeah.
He just couldn't be there during the game.
Yeah,
so he was actually creating the game plan.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Sharon Moore was working off of Harbaugh's schedule.
Yeah.
So yeah. So maybe that was a false lift for Sharon Moore. But there's something to be said for keeping the team together when the head coach can't be there.
It's fair.
Apparently, it's not enough said.
That's fair, though. That is fair. I mean, it's still a tough spot.
Right. Right. But actually, Garrison, I'm glad you brought that up because that actually was my question for this game. Is that if Sharon Moore loses this game, you guys tell me, is Sharon Moore more likely to get fired if he loses Northwestern?
I think there's no excuse for losing Northwestern. They're not a really good team this year at all. So if he loses to Northwestern, I think the percentage of him staying just goes down because that means they could definitely be out of, that conversation of actually getting into a bowl game.
Well, they started 3-1, correct? Michigan. Now they're 5-5. If they end 5-7, no bowl game. Well, they might go to the Idaho Potatoes Bowl. We'll see. But
I'll take the Potatoes Bowl.
Or the Quick Lane. You know what would be fun though? This wouldn't be bad. Would be the Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit. Because people would go. People would go.
If Michigan goes to the Ford Field for their bowl game, yeah, I'll be there.
I'll go.
Yeah,
I would go if I was in California.
I won't go.
Yeah, you won't go.
I want to see him on Boise State Field. That'd be awesome for the Idaho Bowl.
I want to see him on the blue Smurf turf.
Exactly. That'd be awesome.
The Smurf turf. Keegan said he's on
Jack Lausch is a great quarterback. He has wheels. Michigan struggles with quarterback that have wheels. There's not a lot in the Big Ten right now, not even at Ohio State. Air Noland is probably going to transfer away. Tavion St. Clair has wheels, but Julian Sand, he decent wheels. And so, we'll be all right without mobile quarterbacks. I got used to them for a while. But I think Jack Lausch is a great quarterback. I think he's not he's not a great quarterback.
Great. Let's just calm down.
Let's calm down. Though. He's an average quarterback.
He's dynamic though.
That's a great word, Justin. Dictionary, thesaurus. I love it.
See, my problem is I'm too reasonable. I see both sides of this. I see Sharon Moore doing well, I could see how Sharon Moore can do well, and I see how he's doing poorly, and I'm just like, he's got to make up his mind. He's got to. Somebody got on my case saying that it has to be extreme ownership, which I don't really get. But
somebody read Jocko's book.
Oh,
hey Matt. I'm sorry, Cliff. I can tell you what extreme ownership is.
All right, what is it?
So just on the show, and you'll love it. Go check it out. I spent 10 seconds just dunking on Sharon Moore because there's nothing that he has done from start to finish that's worth talking about in a positive light. You hire the wrong coaching staff, especially at coordinator. You lied all off season. You didn't, and when people brought it up to you, you didn't take it on the chin like you should have. You sat here and lied about having a plan about orgy. You never had one.
Right.
You're running like you're oh stop. You're running back like you don't play your running back. You say you play the hot hand even though he's been your best running back all year. And then when they interview him after the game, he's sitting there flabbergasted, has no idea why he wasn't playing in the game.
Yeah.
Like just everything. You don't know how to call timeouts. You don't know how to do clock management. You don't know when to throw challenge flags. You don't know he's not a head coach. And so
that right there, I can agree with you on that. That whole not calling the timeout, calling the flags on plays where they were clearly they didn't understand the rules. Something is wrong there. Something
he was desperate. He was desperate.
Oh yeah. I mean, you say you're not going to question your play caller. And I saw a Michigan fan say this. Sherrone Moore is more worried about being the fun uncle than he is about being the stern dad. And that's exactly what he is. He's a fun uncle.
Yeah. So all I gotta say is pretty much this goes all the way back to when Peter and we went to Ann Arbor on Michigan's campus, and we had a sign that said Sherrone Moore would go. I think we had him losing 4 games or so, and they're like, "No, he's a great coach. He worked under Harbaugh." You know, I'm like, but he was an OC. Not all coordinators can make the jump at a big program to be head coach. And they're like, no, he was all a part of that build-up. I'm like, no, he wasn't.
Here's the thing.
It was Jim Harbaugh, and just like I'm here to say that I was right.
I want to say Rob is right too, but I want to say this. That visit was very eye-opening on the Diag right by MDen. People didn't even know who Sherrone Moore was at that point. That was embarrassing. And second of all, Sherrone Moore is not a head coach. He's an offensive coordinator. But what I really, really, really want to say is this, man. If Sherrone Moore doesn't get Tom Herman or change the offensive identity and willing to go away from Harbaugh's identity, then he will be a clone of Harbaugh and he'll get fired by being a clone of Harbaugh. Now, here's the other thing I want to say. Michigan coaches have a high horse and an ego. Lloyd Carr said, I will sabotage Rich Rod's career here at Michigan, and that's what he did, in my opinion. He sabotaged his start. He said, Ryan Mallett, I will sign off immediately if you leave this program. Now, Harbaugh did the same thing. He sabotaged the Wolverine program. He sabotaged them. He took the OC, took the DC. He cheated, let's be honest.
He didn't take
and then I don't really care too much about that, but it seems like Jim McElwain from Central Michigan does because he just stepped down.
He's been coaching for 40 years, they said.
Peter, he didn't take the
Jim
OC,
Harbaugh, and okay, to get to the point. For some reason, Michigan coaches don't want to be followed up by another good head coach, so they sabotage the program on the way out.
Well, now, okay, wait a minute. Hold up. Did Jim Harbaugh sabotage the program, or did Ward?
He looked out for himself, numero uno, which I don't blame him for. NFL, big money, big contracts, big people at stake. I get it. But he said, I'm more important than Michigan.
I don't put any of this on Ward. Nothing upsets me more than when Michigan fans bring his name up. Because I feel like what people forget is that while Ward has been the AD over the last few years, outside of football, Michigan has had a lot of other bad scandals happen in that program. A lot of bad things happen. And he's had to take care of all that. And in light of that, you have your coaches breaking COVID protocol. That was happening. Mind you, during that time, Michigan as an institution was coming out saying that they were ahead of the game more than every other program was, but they're the ones who broke protocol and recruiting violations. Then you have the scandal happening. Like all this is happening, and people forget. Most Michigan fans wanted Jim Harbaugh gone. It was Ward that kept him. Without Ward Manuel, you do not have that national championship. That's fact. If he doesn't stay 10 toes down and says screw the Michigan fan base, I'm keeping Harbaugh, the national championship doesn't happen. So as we get to here, you guys are. I would give more of the blame to Jim Harbaugh than I don't think Ward Manuel should have any say in this. Because at the end of the day, his job is to protect the institution, not Jim Harbaugh.
That is true. And as an outsider too, COVID 2020 protocol is broken. Remember, they got Herm Edwards fired. That got him ousted from ASU, but not Jim Harbaugh. But hey, how dare you all not give a shout out to the MVP of Michigan last year? Connor Stallions, who now is coaching at a high school team apparently. So those other little league
Belleville.
teams better be watching out. You know, he's
that
out there with
video
those
I did?
glasses. He's out there with those
Pioneer
glasses. You
first.
know.
Hey Ben,
All right.
Ben, that video I did that got 3,600 views. I was accused of being Connor Stallions for Ohio State because I was wearing a 47 AJ Hawk jersey.
Ohio.
I said, "Yeah, my name's Connor," and then I got growled at by the dude next to me.
Oh man,
I got a lot of
I don't wanna
laughs,
get into that
but I got a lot of growls too.
We'll wait until the whole investigation comes out again. We'll talk more about that. All right. Okay.
yeah, take control of your show.
I am right now, right here. We're going to go to Wisconsin, Nebraska. This is the game where both teams are playing for a bowl bid. Somebody's got to get one at this point. They're both 5-5, 3-4 in the conference for Wisconsin, 2-5 in the conference for Nebraska. The spread was at 3.5. It is now down to 2.5. The over/under is still at 42.5. Mac, if you want to throw your pick out there in the chat, feel free. In the meantime, Justin, are you ready?
Yeah, can you come to me last? I want to hear it. I want to hear this.
Okay. Peter, you want to go?
I need Justin's
I'm
pick.
sorry. Hold on. Mac just put his up. He said 31-10. Screw Justin.
Whoa.
All right, well, that's not going to go well. That's another loss on his record.
Remember, Justin, you have 30 seconds.
It's an emotional pick. It's an emotional pick.
Am I going last, though? Am I going last?
Yeah,
Do you want to go last?
Yeah,
I'll go next.
You can go last. All right. Peter, go ahead.
All right. Nebraska 23, Wisconsin 14, not because Nebraska's better. They're not. Wisconsin's better, but they're coming off an emotional loss at home, and now they're going on the road. Nebraska's going to win because Matt Rule might be a better head coach.
I mean, shoot, I don't care how it happens. I'll take it.
23-14.
Oh, 1 second left. Nice job.
I thought I said at the beginning.
Yeah,
my
you
bad.
said at the beginning. You did.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was checking the chat. Sorry.
I tried to say it at the beginning, so I get it in.
All right. Rob, you ready?
That's what she said.
Yeah. I wasn't going to low hanging fruit. I wasn't going to do
I
it.
saw Justin's face. I had to say it.
Rob, please start talking.
All right. So I think Wisconsin's close loss to Oregon at home broke them. I think it was a big emotional loss. Probably not much spirit left. And I just think Nebraska is just a better team. They actually have a quarterback.
They do. They
That can consistently move the ball down the field. So I'm going to go Nebraska 24 and Wisconsin 13.
Ooh, 3 seconds.
Actually, no, take 14.
14?
Yeah.
All right.
Whoa. Money line.
Ben, are you ready?
Yeah.
And go.
This could be the game of the weekend. You're talking two desperate teams. Wisconsin fires their OC. Nebraska doesn't know how to pick off a ball and just lets receivers catch it. Wisconsin might be fired up for this. God, this is tough. Let's just call an ugly. You figure out how we got here. 2019 Nebraska at home.
Whoa.
You figure out how we got there. I have no idea how we're going to get that score.
Justin.
We'll see.
Whoa. Justin's calling for a blowout.
Keegan has put in his pick as 24-17 Nebraska.
I'm feeling a little more optimistic than y'all, I think.
All right, Garrison, you ready?
Yep.
Go.
All right, I'm taking Nebraska 23 to let's go 14. Both two good defenses. One has a really good quarterback, the other doesn't. So, how much time do I have?
17 seconds.
Oh, there is no place like Nebraska.
Jump around.
Where there are things to do. Where the boys are the squarest, the girls are the fairest of any.
Wait, what?
That's how it goes. I'm sorry. That's how it goes.
What happened?
Listen, I didn't write it. I didn't write it. I just sang it.
I love that fight song.
It's awesome.
Max says everyone on the panel is picking the losing
Wish we
team.
scored more so we could hear
it. Max about to get a win for everybody.
All right, Justin, are you ready?
Yep.
Go.
Okay, so I think here's where I think we've progressed, and I think a lot of people aren't realizing this. So last week, under first week of Dana Holgerson, we were 12 for 12 over the middle of the field. 33% of our targets went to the short middle of the field, which is the part of the field we haven't been utilizing. We've been targeting the intermediate and deep levels, and those were terrible in terms of targeting because we weren't bringing the defense down in the short middle. So last week against UCLA, 4 for 6 and targeted 22% of the time. Last week, short middle of the field, 12 for 12 under Dana Holgerson. 100% out over 100 yards, 9.3 yards per attempt as opposed to 3.3 yards per attempt the week prior on the short passes. Nebraska had wider splits with their offensive lineman, was able to gash through the run game a little bit better. I think as time goes on, Holgerson's going to find more and more of this offense. He's talking about our big guys in the end, not blocking. Why you block them? We're going to bench you if you don't block. Get off the field if you don't fucking block. 31-17 Nebraska.
Nope, didn't make it.
I love it.
Fit all of that in there.
This is about 15 seconds over. But
It was worth it. It was
I
worth
figured,
it.
but I had to rush. at the end.
That's a rush. All right, I want to jump to Justin. You say you got to leave in about 10 minutes. You said.
Yeah, I'm probably going to head out about 10 after just to get ready for the space.
All right. Well, we got to do this, and you got to be part of this discussion. So we're going to jump over to Indiana, Ohio State. I feel like, okay, so this is the game this is the game we've been waiting for. It's the 98th meeting between Ohio State and Indiana. Ohio State is on a 29-game winning streak. This is the first time since 1993 that Indiana is ranked going up against Ohio State. The big question for all of us is, does Indiana go undefeated? We're going to take some picks. Let's start with, Justin, you want to go first or you want to hold up?
I'll hold up.
You hold up. All right. Peter, what do you got?
45-20 Buckeyes roll. But they pull away late.
That's the wrong one.
That's rolling. Rolling deep.
No, wrong slot. That's under my name.
Oh, yeah. He picked it too. 48-20. Hey, Ohio State kicks 15 field goals.
15.
Just kidding.
All right.
He's never going to pick a touchdown again, ever.
Nope.
Keegan is coming up with 31-24 OSU. Mac has decided to put in 31-25 Indiana.
Doesn't sound very confident.
Let's see. Rob, are you ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Really worried about the injury to Seth McLaughlin. That has a pretty big setback for the offensive line. Who knows who they're going to put in there? They're going up against the number one rush defense in the country in Indiana. But one thing about Indiana is you saw the talent separation when they went up against Michigan, and if Michigan doesn't have if Michigan has a competent quarterback, they beat Indiana. Another thing, ever since Ryan Day has been at Ohio State, I have not seen that team come out and play angry. Sometimes they're just way too nice, so they need to come from the beginning to the end, just like Georgia did against Texas. They just came out swinging, and their defense played lights out. They need to do that, but I have this being a dogfight. Ohio State wins 31-24.
Wow. Panic in the horseshoe.
Nobody cares about the clock. The clock is here. All right.
I can't hear it. We can't hear it though.
You can't hear it. That's why I do the thing. Okay. Ben, you ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah. I agree with everything. I think Ohio State's offensive line definitely is now a little more concerned. Indiana, bye week, get to prepare. Indiana's been a great story, but at the horseshoe, I think it is 27-21 Ohio State.
Go ahead, Justin.
Wow. 8 seconds left. All right, Justin, you want to go or you want Garrison to go?
Yeah, Garrison, you want me to go first? I'll take it if you want to.
Yeah, go.
Yeah. All right.
Go.
So Indiana, like you said, is a great story. Ohio State's just a better team. They've been there, done that, got the T-shirt. They've been in big games before. They're playing at home. Ryan Days knows how to coach in these big games. I think that They're going to be the more balanced attack. I think Indiana would need to run the ball a little bit better than they have over the last couple of weeks to have a legitimate shot to beat Ohio State. I think Ohio State's just too good, and I think they're going to show that there's kind of a little bit of levels to this. 35-17 Ohio State.
Come on.
2 seconds left.
Let's go.
35 seconds.
Like a pro.
Felt bad for last time.
All right, Garrison.
All right, so I'm going to take Ohio State 38 to 20. I think they get away late. Since the Oregon game, we have up 32 points against Oregon. Since then, we've only given up 27 points total since that moment. In the third quarter, which is when Ohio State usually makes we have the best. We're ranked number 1 in terms of third-point differential. We average 12.1, only give up 0.9. Indiana, on the other hand, they score 8.7, but also give up 4.1. I think that's exactly where we win. The Michigan game told me everything I needed to see. When they play better talent again on defensively, they get tired. They get weighed on. This is going to be a butt kicking and a curb stomping in the second half. This is going to be ugly. We leave their body on the banks of the old Intangi.
Let's go.
I was trying to say that we actually went up against talented defensive line. The separation showed, and this is a stat that happened in the second half versus Michigan. Indiana had -2 rushing yards, so let's not forget that.
Sorry, I read that.
Max comment.
You mean that one?
Oh yeah, that one.
That one. Mac also said he's going to be basking in all of your tears Monday. He will bathe in them, hydrate himself with them, and laugh at you while you weep.
Well, judging by your record picking games,
He's going to have 2 more wins than us this week, apparently, according to Mac.
Well, in all technicalities, if you're drinking our tears are pretty salty. So that means you'll be pretty salty, which means I probably came on top on this. So,
facts don't care what you feel, Mac.
I will gladly take this loss even too in this situation because I think I'd actually prefer to play Indiana in the Big Ten championship game. By the way, Oregon's locked for the Big Ten title game. Year 1.
I've heard that.
While you guys are still fighting for
the greatest day of my life.
Sorry, Justin, but now. I hope I don't regret my Nebraska pick. I didn't think Nebraska would lose to UCLA, then go on to lose to USC. So,
you're obviously haven't been following Nebraska football very long.
Well, yeah, of course, but I just saying I hope.
That type of crap happens.
They got to be relevant for us to follow them.
And Cliff, by the way, this isn't Urban Meyer's Ohio State. This is not Urban Meyer's Ohio State.
No, close the door. Close the door, Sophia.
I respect Indiana. I think Indiana's really good.
I gotta go. I'll be back.
Okay.
Here, I have, while I see all these SEC shills go around just slapping hands for the SEC and saying now why is Georgia that low? It's because Georgia technically got spanked twice this year. No one wants to talk about that. Indiana's and for every other team in college football, we always say, well, you can only play who's on your schedule. And for programs like Michigan and Ohio State, Oregon, and even Nebraska, we'll say for our for programs like that. But for Indiana, it doesn't count. But regardless of that, I don't think they can. Look, man, we're beeping like a Cherokee drum. I don't know. I just can't. I've never seen it in my lifetime, so you can't blame me for being this arrogant. Even though I know we have an arrogant fan base, you can't blame me. I've never seen it. And it's the same way I felt about Oregon a couple years ago. I've never seen it. It never happened. So
I think Gus Johnson summed up Ohio State's fan base, which I've been saying for years: impatient and I forgot the other one he said. Shoot, I forgot the other one he said. Oh yeah, entitled. That's right, entitled, impatient and entitled fan base in Ohio State.
I forgot Justin had to bounce. I saw the comment from Rob there, and I'm like, where's Rob going? So anyway, Justin, if you're out there, thanks for being on the show. We'll talk to you soon, man.
Thanks for joining the show, Justin.
But okay, guys, I'm actually kind of surprised here by the number of people in the chat who are actually picking Indiana. I mean, we don't have. I mean, it's not like it's overwhelming. We've got 3. Well, Obviously, Mac is picking Indiana because he doesn't like Ohio State. Keegan is picking Ohio State, but we got a couple of guys. We got Troy picking Indiana 35-21. We've got John Jacobs picking Indiana 28-21. But Garrison, before you go, this is my question. That really, what are the ramifications of this game? Let's say for a moment that Indiana has, I want to call this the upset of the century if Indiana wins this game, simply because, like we gave those stats earlier, Ohio State's on a 29-game winning streak against Indiana. Yeah. So if nothing else, this is the upset of the century for Indiana, if they do it. If they do, and Indiana, I forgot, Rob, if Indiana wins, if beats Ohio State, does Indiana end up in the Big Ten championship? Or
yeah, they're automatically in. There is no more tiebreaker.
Okay, so there's that. Is there then any repercussions on Ryan Day? I know we do this question all the time, and it always comes up. You know, is Ryan Day about to get fired if anything like that? What are the ramifications for Ryan Day? But really, the other question is, what's going through the heads of these players right now? Because, and I understand, Ohio State's got a winning mentality, Indiana's got a winning mentality, but these players right now, Indiana is seeing the game of the century. Ohio State is seeing, you know, the Big Ten championship and all of their hopes and dreams on this game. What's going through their heads, and what are the ramifications for Ryan Day?
I think for both teams, both coaches, and both programs, they see what's on the line here. And like you said, Indiana, like you would get the ultimate respect. The ultimate respect. And if you're Ohio State, I mean, the Big Ten championship's on the line, but everything else is still in front of you. Because here's the truth of the matter. And no, there would be some. There would be some conversations about Ryan Day. There would. But the truth of the matter is, if I'm and Pete, Rob, let me know if I'm wrong. A lot of it will be alleviated the next week. A lot of it. Because the truth of the matter is this. Just take away the game. Take away the game for a second. If we lose to Indiana, they're gonna get pushed to number 2 in the nation. They're going to, at the worst 3. So for Ohio State, and I think we would barely lose to them. So for Ohio State, we'd still be in the playoffs. Our only 2 losses is a 1-point loss at Oregon and maybe a barely loss at home to Indiana, who's now a top 3 team in the nation. And Ohio State fans are going to be really upset for about all of 7 days. But because on that, because if we win that game, I promise you, I'm going to be okay.
Me too.
I'm going to be okay.
But,
I don't care if that team is 11-0. I don't care if they're 0-11. Win that game and I'll be happy.
Wow, way to lower your expectations.
It's not about expectations. It's not about expectations. It's just it's not about expectations for me. For me, what it is.
I agree, Garrison.
I started watching football seriously in 2005 or 2005 or 6. I have only seen Michigan beat Ohio State 6 times in my life. So the first time I saw it 3 years ago, okay, cool. The second time it got annoying. Now I'm pissed off after 3 years.
Well,
so
sorry, Garrison.
No. I've still nothing to say. Before I get all mad on these airwaves.
I respect the hell out of that opinion, Garrison. I fully agree. Beat Michigan, lose to everybody else. It's a good season.
You have a good point.
I mean,
even when Urban Meyer lost those games he shouldn't have, everyone forgot about it as soon as he beat the crap out of Michigan.
Yep.
Not me. Not me.
7-0 though.
Yeah, there was a difference.
It felt better though. But I will say that there's $20 million here that was put into this team, this coaching staff, all these players coming back. They see that goal. I would be really disappointed. Even though they beat Michigan, that'd be nice. But I'd be really disappointed if they didn't make it back to the Big Ten championship for a shot at revenge against Oregon.
Tiebreaker situation, we were talking about it briefly. So Ohio State, if they lose this, Indiana's locked. But if Ohio State wins, Ohio State still has to then beat Michigan. They're not a lock yet, right?
Yeah. So if Ohio State wins, they end up losing to Michigan. I'm pretty sure Indiana gets in.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to clarify. I was like,
Ben. They're gonna.
I don't have to worry about this. I'm stress free this weekend. I don't give a hell what
Wait,
happens.
wait. If you guys lose to Washington, you won't be upset.
Well, of course it will, but they're garbage and they haven't won a road game this year and they're at Oregon. So,
Wisconsin was garbage too.
Yeah. Well, but that was on the road, so I'll give Wisconsin the credit. You don't talk bad about the Badgers. How dare you?
My bad.
All right, let's take this the other way then. Let's assume everything works out the way the odds makers have it. Ohio State wins out. Oregon wins out. We have an Oregon-Ohio State championship. Actually, I got to take that back. My question is, I guess this is more for Ben. Ben, what do you think would be a better game, Oregon-Indiana or Oregon-Ohio State?
It doesn't really bother either way. I'd kind of like to then knock off Indiana also, just to be like, you took out 2 or 3 of the top Big Ten teams in the same season, but you can't play it either way. I mean, it is what it is. It's going to be in Indianapolis, so it'll be a neutral site.
Oh,
it is what it is. I mean,
all right.
Yeah.
Are we talking statistical breakdown, or are we talking just Ryan Day is going to get fired if he loses to Indiana?
Either way, I mean, like I say, that question always comes up. It's constant with Ryan Day. Is he going to get fired because of the not having the greatest record against top 5 teams?
Yeah.
But
he wouldn't be fired, but I think Buckeye Nation would be really angry.
Yeah, I think so too.
I stand by this. I mean, we lost, but there wasn't a game on our schedule I think we should be losing. So
yeah,
and so but that's like an absurd expectation. So I just think no one expected Indiana to be this good. No one did, and so I mean, if we win this game, all propaganda is being spilled. That's Saturday evening. I will spill all Ohio State propaganda. Depending on how Will Howard plays, if Will Howard goes out there and lights it up, I'm calling for him to be in the Heisman race over Dylan Gabriel. I will push all of Ohio State's propaganda if we go out there and handle business against Indiana. I really will, and I think a lot of people know.
I'm gonna get going, guys. I'm gonna get going, but we are 295 subscribers, 5 away from 300. We'd love to see you. We'll see you on the next show. Garrison, once again, respect for being on Mark Rogers, man. I look forward to your videos over there. Okay.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
See you, man. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks for being on, Peter.
Yep.
See ya.
I think that a lot of people know there's a really good chance that Ohio State's going to go out there and mollywop them. I think it's tough for a lot of people to say. I'm not afraid to say it, but it's also because of what I expect, and also because of what I saw. If Michigan had a 40% better offense, that was a 2-score game in their favor.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't want to just take one game and isolate that for Indiana. But it was such an important game for them because you haven't played anyone with that amount of talent at all this season. So
now, how do you think with the news today with Seth McLaughlin?
Mm-hmm.
No. Yeah, Seth McLaughlin
yep.
Being out. How does that impact the Ohio State Indiana game?
We're gonna find out. I'm worried. I was worried before. I mean, I was not worried, but I wanted to see what our offensive line would do. And I want to know what Rob thinks about this. Over the last 2 weeks, our offensive line has been really good. They haven't had one penalty call on them. We've had 170 yards total rushing over the last 2 weeks. But Indiana's the number 2 defensive team in defensive rush defense.
They're actually number one.
Number one now? Okay, they're number one now. They're number 1 in the Big Ten in sacks above Ohio State. So in my mind, I'm like, this is where you prove it. This is where you prove your worth. So now that we've lost our center,
that's tough. That's tough. Center is the most crucial part of that O line in the sense of calling plays, blocks,
protecting
And
the
that's
quarterback.
tough. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, that's a tough loss. I mean, you look at Oregon, the beginning of the first 2.5 games until they figured it kind of out in the third game, about halfway through against Oregon State, without the center Poncho back in where he was supposed to be. That O-line was a mess because the communication was not there. Now you have to replace a center this late in the season. Hopefully, the backup, has gotten reps and paid attention, but. Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough loss for any team.
The backup's the left guard right now.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes. It's a tough loss. I mean, it sucks. I hope that guy gets healed up, and I hope he's good to go.
Who does big number 6 line up in front of for Indiana? He's like their best defensive line. I forgot his name.
He's the left end.
All right.
He's over our right tackle, so he's over Fryer.
All right. That's man.
I think Keegan's taking a shot.
There are worries. There are worries in this game that I like legit. Even though I said what I said, what 38-20. Even though I think that's the score, that's late in the game, dude. Like there are worries in this game. Things we should be worried about as Buckeye fans.
Yeah. CJ West, Keegan says.
I mean, my big worry is that Hinsman, he looks great at guard. Jackson, he looks good at tackle. I think that they should give the backups. Don't move anything else, of course. Put in the backup center, give him a shot, see what it's worth. I mean, they tried a Mahalski. It couldn't get much worse than that, but
he should never step foot on the field again.
Oh yeah, I agree, and that's why he's not even if he is healthy again. But my worry is that they're not going to be able to, really establish the run game. They're going to have that kind of game they did against Nebraska because oh my gosh, we have one missing piece, and what do we do now? That's my worry, that we see an offensive struggle like we saw against Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
When did this turn into a Ohio State show, by the way?
It's a Big Ten show. Big Ten. We got to get everybody in there. Actually, we used to just be primarily Michigan, but then we thought, let's talk about everybody.
Thank God.
I wouldn't want to talk about us all day either.
All right, guys, I want to touch on the Penn State Minnesota game. And I guess what fascinates me is that for a number 4 team, this game means very little unless Minnesota pulls an upset, which I don't think they can do, but I'm going to leave that up to you guys. I'm not going to do the clock on this one. Let's just talk about this one. Rob, what do you got? What's your pick for this one?
James Franklin is really good at winning games he's supposed to. So I have Penn State 35, Minnesota 20.
35-20. Ben, what have you got?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. I mean, it's on the road, but James Franklin wins these ones. Fleck has something up his sleeve probably to keep it interesting, but Minnesota's been good, but they've been hit and miss. I'm going to go 28-17 Penn State.
Garrison?
I like that score. I'm gonna go 28-17 also. I picked Minnesota.
Dare you? Way to be original.
He's following the king.
I like it. Follow the money, man. No, because I have Minnesota covering this. I thought I'll pick this game on my for my 5 picks on the show, and I really like that plus 12 and a half. I like that number for them. So
Keegan says Minnesota can win that game.
They
Ben,
can.
you're saying that Franklin has a way of winning these games, but he does have a tendency to get in these kind of situations and give it up in the fourth quarter. Is that fair for this game, or is that more likely when he's playing a higher ranked team?
I think it's more Fleck will have something up his sleeve, and pull out like all the stops, so to say. I mean, they're already bowl eligible, but I mean, you're going against number 4. Like everyone knows, when you're a high-ranked team and you have a target on your back. So,
right,
row the boat, you never know with Fleck.
Well, and that's kind of what I was thinking. Mac has 35-14 Whoops. 358-14. There we go.
Damn.
I almost thought that since Minnesota is bowl eligible at this point, I don't know if beating the number 4 team even helps them. If that gets them up into 12, I doubt that it does.
No.
So if that's the case, maybe Minnesota just sort of hangs back. You know, they don't want to get embarrassed, but maybe they hang back just so they're healthy for their bowl game.
Well, who do they have a this week, and then do they play the next week, or do they have a weird end of the season bye?
Let me see here.
Because there's a big
I think all the buys are over. So yeah, they're
like,
playing somebody next week.
Okay, so I was like, well, there's a big difference between being 7-win, 6-win, or 8-win, in the sense of at least maybe what bowl you get to. So it's not going to be playoff, but
they've got Wisconsin after this.
Oh yeah, that's right. Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Yeah. They're more likely to beat Wisconsin than Penn State, I would think.
And plus, I want Penn State to win out because that means that's more Big Ten. And I'm getting tired of hearing all about the SEC, so I want the Big Ten represent well in the college football playoffs.
Yeah, the Big Ten has, what do we have? We have 4 in the top 5. What is the top 12?
I think.
I guess that's it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The only that was the thing. The only ranked teams in the Big Ten are all in the top 5. Nobody else is ranked.
That's crazy.
Oh no, wait! Illinois made it back. They're in 25.
Okay.
They did come back. Yeah.
Thank you, Illinois. I mean, you're not as bad as Missouri.
Yeah.
I don't know how Missouri's still ranked.
How is LSU still ranked?
3.
I think I saw them sitting at. Is LSU still ranked?
No, they fell out.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was because the last time I saw, I'm like, what do you mean they're still at 22, 23? There's no.
Oh
way.
yeah, no, they fell out, but Missouri got back in. I'm like, how? Their last 2 losses were literally shutouts, like blowouts. I'm like, what?
Yeah. All right, guys. I think we can call it there. Those are your Week 13 picks, the best picks I think on YouTube. We have them here. You guys are awesome. Let's go out one by one here. Rob, why don't you give us your socials one more time? Any big news coming up? I know you guys are at 295 subs. We want to get you up to 300. What else is going on?
So social media, my TikTok is at 13, and you can catch my co-host Peter and I on Buckeye Battle Cry. But yeah, we're at 295, looking to get to 300, really looking to grow the channel. I know he's out in Cali, so something I'm thinking about doing is going down to Indianapolis just for the Big Ten championship game atmosphere, just get more exposure. And we'll definitely, maybe even after the game, the biggest rivalry in all of college football, maybe I'll go pay a visit to the Ann Arbor campus again and be like, remember me? Let's talk.
Hey, we could all meet up down there and get some pizza or something, man.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be cool.
Or what's that one Philly cheesesteak shop that's it's on campus? It's like
I know
really
Zingerman's.
big. Isn't it Mr. Spots?
Yeah.
I think it's called Mr. Spots or whatever.
Okay, I haven't been there. I don't know.
It has like all the Michigan memorabilia in there, Tom Brady stuff, and
all right,
really big on campus.
I tried not to go to toilet paper stores. So
yeah.
All right, Rob. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah.
We will see you on the next one.
See you, Rob.
Later.
Take care, man. Oh, let's see. Ben, you're next. What do you got going on?
Not too much again. You can just, chilling out this weekend, kings of college football, again, we just allow you to play in our conference these days. But yeah, you can follow me on the Oregon channel for the Voice of College Football. And I've got about an hour until we have Vernon Adams on for that live show. So yeah, I do need to get the hell out of here. Deal with that. Otherwise, you can find me on X, Twitter, and YouTube exploring Ben and Sam. And it's been fun. You both suck, and I'll see you next week.
Oh, man. All right. Well, thank you for descending from the throne and giving us a shout. We'll see you next week.
Have fun.
Bye.
Yeah.
Garrison, you had your
back.
Yeah. What did Max say? I suddenly hate Oregon. Oh, Keegan, grab a Big Mac. They when they had the signs at McDonald's that said, "Are you Mac enough?" I really wanted to get one of those for Mac, but he was like, I think 13 at the time, so he just got mad at me every time I mentioned it. Garrison, how's it going with the Ohio State show? That was, you just did your first show, right?
Yeah, we did our first one on Monday. Go check it out. We just talked about the recapping the Northwestern game, Ryan and I, and then also talk about a lot of recruiting because a lot happened for Ohio State, commitment-wise and decommitment-wise. But then on tomorrow, you can catch us at 8 p.m. on Ohio State Buckeyes Prime Time on the Voice of College Football, Ohio State at 8 p.m. You also see me on Sundays and Wednesdays on the Scarlet and Blue Show with my great best friend and co-host, Bryce. You can follow us at Scarlet and Blue Show on YouTube and Scarlet Blue Show on all those social media, including X, Facebook, Instagram. Yeah.
So you're doing a show Monday and Thursday on the Ohio State channel?
No, so it's Sunday, Scarlet Blue Show. Monday, Ohio State show. Wednesday, Scarlet Blue Show. Thursday, Michigan show.
Michigan show?
Not Michigan show. I'm thinking about TJ. Then Ohio State on Thursday. Well, what I meant to say was the reason I was thinking about Michigan was because
you're gonna be on TJ's show tomorrow night.
No. I'll be on tomorrow. I will be on Darren's. Darren Talks Ball.
Darren Talks Ball. All right.
And on Sunday, I will be on May's Madman to do. I'm joining him. He's doing a fun little watch party, and so I'll be joining that for a little bit.
Man, you're just all over the place now.
Dude, I'm trying to be the new Justin. What are you talking about?
Yeah, there you go, man. Well, I do appreciate you being on the show. We always love having you on here.
I love being on here.
Lots of great football knowledge coming from you. Appreciate it.
What did we do? Hour 36 today? Woo!
Yeah, a little shorter show. I guess when Mac's not here, we don't talk as much. I get to pick on him because he's not here. Yeah, thanks for being on the show. Really appreciate it. Good luck on the Ohio State channel, and we will talk to you soon.
Thanks, man. Hey, you have a good night, and good luck on the channel here.
All right, thank you very much.
See ya.
See ya. All right, everybody, flying solo here without Mac. Blue Wolverine sent in a super chat for $4.99. Says, good show. Thank you very much, Blue Wolverine. Appreciate it. Blue Wolverine, as many of you know, has been a big supporter of the show from the beginning. And Keegan, I'll rise as we close the show. And Mac is already getting on my case. Wow, thanks, Dad. I'm just messing with you, man. Come on. I love you too, Mac. Just there we go. So thank you for hanging out with us. Don't forget to check out the teamrivalry.com website where you can check the rivalries of all your favorite teams. We're still working on getting all the USC data in there. I may not get to that until after the season. It's just been super busy, but we're getting all that loaded in there. Also, check out the Michigan football channel at the Voice of College Football. You can see Mac and I on our Point a Minute show, which comes out Tuesday mornings at 9. We missed this past week. We'll be back this Tuesday, normally about this time. Well, no, actually, right now, I would say don't forget to like and subscribe to this show. But most importantly, join us next Monday night at 8 p.m. right here on the Big Ten Team Rivalry Show, unless we stick with Wednesdays. Wednesday seems to work out pretty good. We're going to talk about that, see what we can come up with. Although next Wednesday is the night before Thanksgiving, so maybe we'll stick with Mondays. The show will be posted on YouTube. You'll see the notifications. Don't forget to mark notifications on the channel. That way you know when we're going to be on. So, about this time, I would be asking Mac if he has anything to add. And maybe he will. Maybe if I just talk long enough, he'll put something in the chat that I can put up here for you. Right now, Blue Wolverine says to also share. So like, subscribe, and share. Really appreciate it. We are at 1,064 subs. Can't thank you guys enough. It is really awesome. It's really fun to do this. Really enjoy talking to all the guys we've been exposed to talk about football. I mean, between Justin, Garrison, Peter, Rob, and Ben, and we've also talked to Big Ten Ted, John, and TJ at Michigan football. Leanne Herring has been on. just lots of fantastic people who they know so much about football. It just puts Mac and I to shame. Pretty easy to do for me. Mac is much smarter than I am. He knows a lot of that stuff. There you go, Mac. I just promoted you on the show. You are the guy who knows the game. We have a lot of fun. Really appreciate it. That's going to do it for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we will see you soon. Enjoy football this weekend. Remember, watch that Indiana-Ohio State game. It's going to be big. A lot of decisions are going to be made in that game. Good night, everybody.